How's everybody doing? Good? Good? Yes? All right. Then we got some energy back here. I like that. I feel that. So we can just jump to the next slide here. All right. Well, so while they're setting this up, let's just get straight to it, right? I'll ask you guys a question. How many people here remember the last ad they saw on a mobile device? Can we get a show of hands? Come on. 2 people remember the last ad you remember seeing on a mobile device? Wow, okay. So, oops, I'm gonna jump back. We jumped ahead here. Can we just jump back to the first slide? Whoa, there we go. So, that's crazy, right? That's crazy to me. Usually when I ask that question, majority of the people will actually kind of, probably at least like 60, 70% of the crowd will actually raise their hand. The next question I like to then ask is, well, do you remember the brand, right? And about 99% of everyone at that point will drop their hands. And that's a big problem, especially for like us in the room, right? Like this is what we're here at this conference talking about, right? How we all, let's face it, right? Drive money, right? And make money off of creating these better opportunities for advertisers and for consumers, right? But I'm going to get straight to it, and this is my serious look, right? This is my serious look. We can laugh. We can have fun here. I promise you. Look, I fucking hate ads, right? Straight to it. Like, I hate ads. And the reason why I hate ads is it's really because of this, right? It's because of the fact that when we go and we see ads, and this is on display, we see this 720 by 90 at the top of our page, and that's what people think we're talking about, right? Or when we go to a mobile device, we see this 320 by 50, which essentially is that 728 by 90, right? We're just bringing it to the mobile device as if it is the same thing, but it's not, right? Then when we scroll down, we see that it's 300 by 250, again, another display format. You see, the problem we have here is we continue as an industry to take display creatives and bring them onto mobile devices as if they are the same thing, and we know that they are not, right? And that's a huge issue. More importantly, these are all screenshots from my devices. Not one of these is relevant to who I am. I could care less about Credit Karma. I could care less about the travel show. That's a problem. This is the next problem, right? And this is a big one. You will continuously see people and companies separate these 2 people, right? We have the data guys, the data companies, and I apologize, I'm not going to call anybody out, but the data companies will say, and the data guys will say, oh, it's about the right person, the right place, and the right time. And I swear you hear that in the first 5 minutes of any panel discussion at any mobile conference. And that's true, but if it does not have good creative, it means absolutely nothing. Then you have the creative guys, right? Go to the Adobe conferences, and all these guys are talking about pixel perfect and the user experience and the UI. It has to be great, but again, if you don't have good data, it means absolutely nothing. So it's about how we bridge those together and how we bring that good, compelling data with great, amazing creative. My entire creative team sits in the same exact room with our analytics team. Why? Because we want to merge those 2 together. And we see so many companies selling their data and having a third party work on their creative, and it just doesn't make sense. So this statement here is, and it's just a great quote that we got from this young lady, who essentially talked about the fact, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but talked about the fact that her mobile device is like a part of her. We all feel that way, right? We carry them every single place we go. Now, this young lady is also the part of a group, the later half of Gen Z and the earlier half of the millennials, that is also responsible for $250 to $650 billion in annual buying power. It's a lot. She's also part of the group that's actually learned how to swipe, pinch, and zoom before learning the alphabet, right? They grew up with these devices. Now, she's also part of a group that we call the mobile prodigies. We went out and we talked to 3,000 individuals from across the US in this group and asked them, what to you is the perfect ad? Well, if you're interested in kind of going deep, we have some books in the back at our panel over there that will actually walk you through a lot of the stats. But the key things we wanted to bring up here is they're embracing the app ecosystem, okay? They are very cognizant of the app that they download to the device, how much the file size it is, etc. They will delete it in an instant if they don't feel it's giving them something in return for their time, okay? They are demanding innovative content. It needs to be great creative. It has to look, work, and function well. They're granting their data, right? So they they are very much aware of the fact that they're giving location, their data, and their information about them to you. But if they give it to you, they expect that you better know them better than they know themselves. 80% are expecting ads to be tailored to them, right? Understanding their interests, their hobbies, their habits, right? 77% prefer those ads to be customized, to their current activity, what I'm doing right now. And 71% expect you to understand or know their location. So, if we know this, why don't we create more compelling opportunities in an ad? What if we had something like this, where we noticed that you've been in a bike shop 2 or 3 times the past week, and we noticed that on Friday evening you might be searching to go potentially the next morning. So we give you that type of opportunity. Very simple, nothing crazy about it, right? But the point here is this. Some of you might sit here and say, well, that's intrusive. I wouldn't want to get that opportunity. Well, that's not the case, right? Because we've clearly recognized that this individual is someone who's been in a bike shop and clearly recognized when this individual goes, so why not give that type of opportunity? So what happens is when you understand more about these individuals, you're able to give high impact opportunities, which in turn are super relevant. You will never have an intrusive opportunity. 95% make purchases based on the ad they've seen in the store. Keywords here, ad seen on a mobile device. We know there's something called banner blindness. When you know that a banner is in a particular spot, right, there becomes this time where you just stop focusing. You stop looking at it, right? 61% will actually buy in-store based off that ad they've seen once a month. Well, that's pretty interesting. Well, what if we had this type of unit? Very simple, 320 by 50, but we are doing something a little different here. What we're doing is we're only allowing that banner to animate when a user is actually scrolling up or down the page, right? So what we're doing is we're providing a better opportunity for users that they can feel as though they control, right? We're also driving engagement and driving visibility down this area by allowing that to animate only when they're doing something, okay? 39% want things that are customized based on products that they want to buy. So again here, understanding kind of the places they've been, what they've purchased, etc. 46% want to actually be able to save it and access it later. So this is a big one. So what we see a lot of individuals do, maybe you guys are doing this as well, is you see something that's great, right? But truth be told, when you see an ad that might be great, you refresh it or you close it, you come back, it's gone. So a lot of folks are doing, and this generation is doing, is they're doing screenshots. But now when you're screenshooting that and it goes to your photos area, you have this stale, static image. Well, what if you had an opportunity to look a little bit like this? So in this case, you interact, we open up this experience. The first thing you're going to know is it looks and feels exactly like an app. That's intentional, right? Because if it does that, then there's a sense of kind of trust in that. If you scroll down now, and rather than having menu buttons, we're allowing the ability to scroll down and see this type of map opportunity. We know that people open up Google Maps and Apple Maps every single day. Why should we not have a live real-time map in here that shows your location as opposed to the things you're about to search for? But also right here, and it's hard to read there, it actually says save this ad. So when you actually select that, we're giving some very quick instructions on how to do that. You open it up, select add to home screen, which gives you those steps. Once you select that, you'll actually be able to rename it if you'd like. There's a logo and an icon, you just press add, and it goes directly down to your device. Now we know that an ad campaign has a start and an end date. This does not. This can live on your device for weeks, months, etc. And now imagine going back to that opportunity and updating that dynamically or in real time weekly, right? Very cool. Yes, some head nods. Okay. So, pre-roll. Who watches pre-roll? So what majority of people are doing is this. I go to grab my phone, I tap to actually watch the video content, pre-roll comes up, I put it down, I do something else, I hear the content change, I pick it up. If I skipped a little forward, I just go and rewind and get back to where I wanted to be in the first place, right? Again, treating ads as if they're TV in this case, when this is not. So research shows that people are actually watching a total of 6 to 7 seconds of that pre-roll content, right? So why don't we create a 6 to 7 second spot opportunity that instead of being in a lean back experience, which is pre-roll, right, or a video content, in a lean forward experience, which is reading content. So now imagine you're going and you get this type of opportunity here. Video starts playing down at the bottom, then all of a sudden we kick up, We reside here for a total of 6 to 7 seconds. At this point, you can continue to scroll up or down that page if you want, because we don't want to actually block your content, and then we animate down. Right? Very simple. If you decide to engage with that, then we'll open up to the native player and show a larger kind of full screen video as well. So key points here, things that I really want to drive home, is that the time to reinvent this space is now. Of course they want appealing aesthetic design, right? Of course they want non-intrusive, functional, and fun and imaginative things that are predictive, right? And when you nail all of these, then you're going to get great creative. When you get that great creative, they say they will click 42% of the time, right? So, we need to make sure that you're understanding your consumers. You need to know who they are. And when I talk about who they are and knowing them, it's about where do they live, where do they work, what are the places they frequent, where they currently are. And once we do that, it's about making sure that we're delivering creative that truly matters, right? And what I like to say is creating memorable, meaningful, and magical moments. Because when you create a moment for an individual on these very personal screens, you're then creating. We are in the business on these devices of creating experiences, right? And when you create an experience, then you're allowing for a brand to step on stage and talk directly to the people who care about their products. That's impactful. So we need to make sure that we stop complaining about ads and about how much they suck and really get together and figure out ways to actually make them better together. And again, that's about coupling data and creative and thinking about those two coming together in a smoother kind of way than now. Thank you.
Am I on? So thank you so much. We're out of time, but we're going to transition into the next session.